Welcome to the Mile High Podcast. Thank you for joining us each week. And you never want to miss any Mile High tips. So make sure you hit subscribe, whatever channel you're watching or listening to this on. And of course, you want to make sure you rise up in June to be with us at Mile High. So riseuptomilehigh.com is where you can get all the details on that. We look forward to seeing you there. It's our 10th anniversary. I'm super thrilled to introduce this guest on the podcast today because I am a huge fan of what they do. And I think they've been with Mile High all 10 years, if I remember right, or really close to it. So Austin Daugherty, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing right, hopefully I am, Austin Daugherty and Review Wave, he's the director of sales for Review Wave, has been part of helping thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people find their way into chiropractic offices. And you need to learn what he'll be sharing with you today, okay? And he has been part of the chiropractic community really as a vibrant energy, everyday office, helping people with finding chiropractic and get unplugged from the allopathic matrix into the chiropractic above, down, inside out matrix. I'm gonna, I gotta say this one thing. I'm not a fan of the fact that he's a big Red Sox fan, but we'll still interview him. So
yeah. It's all right. It's not the first time.
But thank you for joining us today, Austin.
Thank you for having us. We're super excited to be here and ultimately help support, wonderful doctors like yourself and, the whole profession. I think, especially right now in today's society, people need chiropractors more than ever right now. And I think we're all in agreement of that. So we're excited to, as you mentioned, help more people get on the proper healthcare model that we believe and ultimately find more chiropractors like yourself to really have that above, down, inside out philosophy.
Well, and we need people to help us do that. And you guys are helping people in a very, very unique way and very important way. Can you let's help people get to know you personally a little bit besides the Red Sox area? How did you find your way into chiropractic?
Yeah. So, I've been in sales since I was 16, all the way from retail, up into my first medical sales gig. And then I found my way to a web marketing company in the chiropractic space. It's kind of how I got my start about 6 years ago. That's right where I found my passion for chiropractic. I really saw the transformation, not only myself as a chiropractic patient when I was slanging websites back in the day for chiropractors, but ultimately, having that passion and the drive behind what we do, because it's not just another niche market. It's truly something that I believe in, my wife believes in, and all of us here at Review Wave believe in. So when I found Review Wave, just coincidentally at a conference, it's kind of a match made in heaven. And I've been here ever since. I was thankfully employee number 8. Now we have over 65 plus employees here in 2 different offices in 2 different states. I've been with the company for about 3 years or so. And, really here is where I found my passion and my drive to, get up and do what I do every day. And all of us here at the company will tell you the same exact thing, because we truly see the transformations that we're making, not only for doctors in chiropractic, but ultimately the patients on the patient's end, right? As you mentioned, we're helping, in fact, millions of patients across the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico find more doctors in chiropractic. So not only helping, the root cause as the patient, but ultimately helping doctors, free up more time, have more freedom in their lives, in their clinics, and making more money and ultimately changing the world together. So again, I appreciate you having us on here. I'm super excited to, drop some knowledge here and, help more people, attract more quality patients and ultimately have a better practice in life.
And, you are dubbed the head of first impressions. And one of the things that's interesting that people don't necessarily understand, many people do, but not everyone, is that your online reviews are your first impression. People think the doctor's first impression or the CA, and first impressions are vital, but people are having a first impression of you before you they even call, visit your office, and that first impression is coming from other people other than yourself today, and that's a big change in the marketplace. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of us, chiropractors out there have started their clinics on word of mouth, and there's no real such thing as word of mouth anymore. Even if you told me the best restaurant was right down the street and I had no idea, I'm still going to check it out on Google. That is the first impression. I got to see the phone number, I got to see the website, got to see the hours. But most importantly, in the chiropractic space, Dr. Danny, you're putting your hands on me, right? So I want to be way more familiar with you and your clinic than, just showing up and taking my buddy's recommendation. So the first impression is huge. It's today's day and age of a billboard. They want to see that I was referred by your reviews and go read them, or my buddy told me that you were the best doctor to go to in the area. So I'm definitely going to check you out. And on average, patients are reading 6 to 7 reviews before they make a conscious decision that, hey, this passes my sniff test, right? This guy checks all the boxes. I'm okay, going to go lay face down and get adjusted by this guy. I don't know him from anyone else. But again, your reviews are really the backbone of that first impression, right? You can run all the ads, you can be everywhere I see you, but ultimately, are other people going out of their way to recommend you on a public forum that we all trust? 84% of people trust online reviews just as much as a personal referral. So hit them from both angles, right? You get the word of mouth side, but if you don't have enough reviews to back up the great work that you're doing, you're not going to be able to attract as many people to the clinic. So it's today's day and age of a billboard.
And I got to tell you something. You segued into something very important. You may surprise you here. I'm a big proponent of, and I'm sure you are, of personal communication, creating bonds, sending personal thank you cards, creating community, things like that in your office, and making sure that you're bridging the virtual with the in person. I have this thank you card that you sent me, all right,
Yep.
personally handwritten for referral. You don't know how many people don't send referral thank you cards, or even just like I say, send a thank you card every day to someone in your office, not just for referrals, but just to have good connection with people. And here is an online company, and the director of sales for that online company is doing something brick and mortar style, right? Because you need to have a connection of both. And, you guys walking the talk of that. So, it's a great example of that.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it. Again, we appreciate the referrals. And ultimately, it's kind of one of those things where everything always loops back around, right? So sure, we're this tech company, we're hip, we're cool. You can see our fun, open environment here. But at the same time, everything is always going to come back. So doing those little things like that help us go the extra mile, no pun intended, or maybe there's a slight pun there. But we want to help more people. And again, doing things that you wouldn't necessarily expect, right? Whether it's that simple, handwritten card that we send out, or something that a doctor might send to a patient, going that extra mile and doing things that we're not accustomed to anymore. Simply picking up the phone and saying thank you is kind of a weird thing now, right? Especially, coming from a tech company like us that deals with, text messaging and online scheduling. So, going above and beyond, it's not just about the tech. The tech sells itself, but it's the people behind it, and ultimately those extra steps that you wouldn't expect that really leave that lasting impression. And we can do the same in business, the same that we would do in a clinic as well. So it does. I'm glad you pointed that out. Thank you for that. But we go above and beyond for our clients, just like we want you guys to go above and beyond for your patients. So
Exactly. So now talking about above and beyond, right? And really what you're just going over is attraction. You want to create attraction in everything relative to your office in many different ways, and your team be part of attraction. So going above and beyond, online scheduling is part of that these days. And a lot of people don't necessarily realize that. Why is online scheduling so important today?
Because we have to communicate the way that we communicate outside of business. When we're just people communicating with friends or family or whatnot, right? I always use the example of, if you want to book a flight or a hotel, are you going to sit there and call that airline that you've never spoken to? No, because you just are used to going online and doing that. So it doesn't matter kind of how we've run our clinic in the past. If you don't level with your patients and have that same level of communication, you're going to miss the mark 9 times out of 10. Right. So online scheduling, just like a flight, a hotel, or shoot, I can order lunch right now while I'm on the phone, while I'm on this with you just online, right? Everything is at our fingertips. And if you don't give that patient access to you and the great work you're going to do at their fingertips, they're going to go somewhere else where they can find that. So again, online scheduling is massive, and especially tying in with your electronic health records that actually look at your real-time scheduling. In the middle of the night, I can roll over and say, you know what, I'm fed up of not being able to sleep at night, or my neck pain or back pain is so bad, or I'm
Right.
not happy where I'm at in life and I need to come in and see a chiropractor that I've been, hearing about for so long. If I can't roll over and schedule an appointment to come see you tomorrow or the next day, you're going to lose that momentum of that patient thinking about you and ultimately already making that mental agreement with themselves saying, I need to go do this. But if I have to wait on someone else to reach back out to me, we're going to lose that fire and that heat. So we want to get these people right then and there.
Right. It's funny. I talk about this Starbucks. Like I get irritated if I'm online at Starbucks and it's too long a line. You
Yeah.
know, like people, like it or not, we have a very much immediate gratification culture, and the speed of business is a lot faster. And so you have to be engaged in the times relative to that. So
Yep.
how does people think of review and they think reviews? You do something with online scheduling. Most people don't even realize that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we grow so fast that, we couldn't ditch the name Review Wave, which is a great problem to have. So it is a little good, coffee table starter talk, if you will. But I mean, we handle everything from the patient attraction piece that starts with reviews, but then it happens with the conversion on online scheduling. Obviously, as you know, being a client, we handle all the texting and those type of things on the back end. But really, starting with the reviews, we had a lot of clients come to us and say, hey, we love what you're doing, and I am using this other company that kind of sort of works, but I'd like you to be able to do it better. And that's kind of how we've grown into, the big patient experience engine that we call ourselves, rather than just one dimensional in reviews. Because like it or not, as you mentioned, it all goes hand in hand. If I find your reviews, that's great. Sure, that's in our name. But now what? How do I book an appointment? If now we drop them off at a cliff and they got to call you, we lose the patient engagement and the experience. So again, we call ourselves a patient experience company. We're not just a software
Ah,
company, right? Everything we do is about the experience, because everything we do in daily life outside of our chiropractic clinic is all about the experience. You're going to go fly that airline that you like the experience on. You're going to go to the hotel that doesn't seem like just white walls because it's more of an experience, right? Anything we do in today's day and age is all about the experience. So we got to do the same thing in our chiropractic clinic. And it doesn't just happen the experience in the office. That's self-explanatory. Read any, book on how to run a business or a chiropractic office. It's going to tell you that you got to have great love and care in your office. But what are you doing outside of the clinic that's making you go above and beyond and enhancing the overall patient experience? So that's kind of how we've grown into what we've done, and we'll continue to push the envelope. It's in our core value. We will lead the field always, and that is what we strive to do every single time we come out with something, or when we wake up, put our pants on and get our butts to work. So we're leading the field as we are right now, and we'll continue to do so. But it's ultimately all about the overall patient experience. So there's a lot more than just reviews here.
yes, yes. That's important for people to realize. So, and reviews are important. We have more reviews than anybody else in our town. I always tell people you want to make that your prime digital landscape territory. That's the hill that you're going to take, right? As a team, is you're going to have the most
Yeah.
reviews in your community, and Review Wave is part of that. And it's amazing to me there are people that still don't know that like there's something called a Google review. But we have people all the time that come in and say at their initial evaluation that the reason why they called is because of all the great reviews, and we know Review Wave was part of that. In fact, I was doing an interview the interview series for people, for employees, and they applied for the job because they said we applied for the job because there are so many good reviews, so it's got to be a great place to work. So they wanted to be part of it based on the reviews as an employee, let alone as a patient. And I know Review Wave was a big part of that. So how do people boost their reviews? I know that will lead to referrals. First of all, how do they boost their reviews?
Yeah, so it's all about automation, and it really, a lot of it is about timing, right? When we go through, 100 to 200 people a week, or 500 or 1,000 people a week, depending on how busy the clinic is, we forget about the little things. That's why those cards are very important. That's why a simple ask, hey, how was your day? Rather than, where's your pain at today? What are we adjusting type of thing, right? So when you're truly in communication with those patients, you get that instant feedback. Now, a lot of it is going to be good, but there might be some bad. Well, how do you find out if it's bad right now? You don't, unless you give them an opportunity, right? So people leave the clinic and you lose a patient because of feedback you didn't hear about or didn't find out about. So automatically we would text the patient after their visit, because when I get adjusted from you, I'm unsubluxated, I'm walking tall, I'm feeling good, right? We catch them in that peak state. So they're more likely to understand the experience they just had, but ultimately it's about timing. You don't want to ask someone a week later how they're feeling. It doesn't work, right? It's all about the timing and the time frame. So by us automatically doing that and texting a patient, we give them the easy way, the yellow brick road to go leave a review. A lot of people get confused. They say, oh, I don't have a Google account. Well, Gmail is Google. Most people may or may not know that. So as long as they have a Gmail account, which it seems in my experience that 90% of the globe has a Gmail account, they can easily, in 4 taps on their cell phone, go leave a review to promote the amazing work you did in my life, my family's life, anyone else's life that you're touching, to help more people. So as we mentioned, the convenience factor, right? The quicker and easier you make it without bombarding them, you're going to get more reviews, which turn into more referrals, which turn into a happier practice, which turn into healthier humankind throughout the world.
Right. So super important. And it starts with you. So then how do reviews relate to referrals?
Great question. So again, it's kind of like that. It's the backbone of a word of mouth referral, right? Hey, Dr. Danny, the greatest restaurant is down the street from you. You say, I've never heard of it. You can go on, you took my word of mouth referral, and then you went to look online. And that backbone in solidifying what I gave you is the review part of that, right? So again, it's making you bigger and better in this aura in your clinic to say, look, everyone else is happy. And you're instilling a lot more trust and confidence in that patient than just the guy down the street that's got 5 reviews. I don't trust that person as much as I would you if you had 400 reviews, right? So it's hoping that mental shift in my head to say, hey, your first impression was that this is a good clinic, and I'm backing it up by saying you have way more reviews than the guy down the street. You're the authority figure in the clinic for healthcare, or in the community. So that's how it's going to turn into referrals, because again, it's not just you and I speaking or in a group we might share feedback with. Everything is done online at the touch of our fingertips. So if I'm looking for a chiropractor and I see your reviews, boom, that's turning into a referral. It might not be a direct referral between you and I, but as these potential employees that you're even mentioning, everyone is saying great things about you. So it instilled more confidence in me to come work for you and work with you and help along your mission. So reviews equal referrals in one way or another.
Right. And actually, I've trained people in my programs that I teach with Lifetime Wellness Practice that in many ways, a review is even better than a referral, because the review stays there online forever. And the referral, me saying, hey, Austin, you should check out Review Wave, you only hear that once. Versus, it just is in the ether and it's gone. So then text messaging. Why does text messaging become so important in a chiropractic office? Can't we just use the phone?
Yo, you sure can, but there's only a few of you and I that want to get on the phone and talk to people. Statistics show us that 95% of text messages are opened, and about 90% of them are responded to in the first 3 minutes. So we go back to the patient experience. If I want quick communication, as a patient, and I can't get a hold of you quickly, I'm going to go somewhere else that's going to give me that instant gratification. Now, again, I'm an outlier. I don't mind getting on the phone and speaking with people. I do that daily for work, right? In my passion. However, the majority of people do not want to call a business if they've never spoken to, especially a doctor's office, quote unquote, right? So they don't want to call regardless. So you need to make it easy for them as possible. And the nice thing that I use in all my talks that I do, text messaging is convenient in the fact of you can get back to it when it's convenient for you. A phone call is not convenient anymore. In fact, it bugs a lot of people. We get these spam calls all the time, right? So we look at our phone and go, why is it urgent right now? No, I'm not going to answer, and I don't pick it up. Mm-hmm. So whether it's you calling someone back or them calling you, calling is not convenient. It's like a baby crying. We got to go get to it right now or you lose it forever. A text message can sit there and wait for someone else to respond at their earliest convenience. So again, now the ball's in your court and I don't have to be on the phone with you at the same exact time. So the easier communication we make it for our patients, again, the way they communicate with friends, family, colleagues, anyone, right? We need to bring that into the clinic and help them in communication that they're used to using right now. So it is absolutely vital and essential for a chiropractic clinic because you're not open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. However, a text message can be waiting for you right then and there because not a lot of people want to leave phone calls and call back voicemails. They're all full, which shows you no one answers the phone.
Right. And then, that seems to people, wow, I've got to manage maybe an EHR at the front desk. I've got the phone ringing, I've got text messages coming in. It can be a lot for an individual who's at, command control of a front desk to coordinate. Is that overwhelming thing for a team member, or is it set up in an effortless way?
Oh, it's absolutely set up in an effortless way on our end when we set it up. I mean, in 45 minutes, they'll be using ReviewWave through a training call. But the biggest thing that I always like to focus on is our CAs and office managers in the office are the heartbeat of the clinic. Let's just face it, right? Doctors do a great job of adjusting and getting kind of the end result. But without great staff and staff that's running as efficiently as they can, ReviewWave gives you that, right? Rather than a staff member that's juggling a bunch of phone calls, greeting patients as they come in, running payments, doing x-rays, flipping the room and, changing out the face paper. They do so much in the clinic. So if we can make their lives easier in the beginning, it's directly affecting the patient that walks through that door. Now I'm getting greeted every single time with a bright smiling face rather than someone who might be stressed because the phone is ringing off the hook and they are juggling a million different things. So automation helps out with all of that. It's a very seamless transition. I mean, my mother, who's a 68-year-old dental assistant who is not good at technology, can use ReviewWave in her dental office because it's so easy to use and it's automated. You set it up, you turn it on. All you do is play defense. As you mentioned, I'm a Red Sox fan. I'm a big sports guy. So I use a lot of sports analogies. We do all the offense for the clinic. All they have to do is play defense and respond to what comes in. Mm-hmm. So if we make the staff's life easier, it's easier for the patient to communicate. The whole office is clicking at a different level with less manpower needed, right? So especially when it comes to staffing issues right now, right? You're going through it. I am absolutely confident you're going to find the right person for your clinic, but it's tough right now to hire people. So when you have something that is absolutely reliable, it helps our staff have easier day to day. It helps you understand that, your clinic's going to run efficiently, even if someone happens to not be in the office one day. So it's absolutely crucial because, again, you went to school to adjust people, change more lives through the, healing powers of your hands. But there's a lot of other business aspects that people might not think about, and we help alleviate a lot of that stress for a staff member and ultimately a clinic owner.
Yeah, and it's so important. I mean, I can sing praises about it all day long, and I know other people involved with Mile High are big fans of ReviewWave. And so, how do people test it out or learn more about it? Or if they're they're unsure about that, how can they discover more?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so first and foremost, book a demo with us online, either before Mile High, or you can speak with Cole, who's going to be at Mile High. He's one of my close buddies here at ReviewWave. I've been in business with him for 4 or 5 years now. He's a great guy, and he's the director of sales of our California office. He'd be more than happy to go through a quick demo in person. But the biggest thing is we have 100% satisfaction guarantee. We want to make sure you're loving the system, right? You're never going to know what it's going to do for you unless you put pedal to the metal and we actually implement it. And if you're not happy, you call us and cancel, say, hey, it didn't work out for my clinic. No harm, no foul. All we want is a shot. That's it. Once we get that shot, we know we're going to earn your trust and love, and we feel very confident in that. But definitely you can book a demo. You can go to our website, reviewwave.com, book a demo, go find Cole at the conference, and he'll take great care of you there. But ultimately, our biggest thing is we want to be able to show you how we're helping chiropractors all across the nation, have better access for patients to healthcare, better access to you, increase that, in-office patient experience, as well as the external experience that is absolutely vital in chiropractic office. So biggest thing, hop on a demo with us. Let us show you. Our team is here. We're not sharks in the water. We're not going to pin you down and say you got to sign up. No, if it's not a good fit, we're going to make sure we let you know that it's not a good fit. But we want to make sure that, we at least have the opportunity to show you what we're doing. And ultimately, if they want to try it out, great. We got 60 days. Let's do it. Let us earn your trust and love. And who knows, the system might pay for itself in the first 60 days, which I've seen over and over.
Now, you said something that's super important there. A number of things that are super important. You talked about earning trust. That's people don't necessarily realize. Your online reviews are part of earning trust. And then when they come in for care, you've got to earn their trust again during that initial consultation, and then during the exam, and then reviewing the results with them. It's all about earning trust. And then as you earn that trust, getting them to then share that, hey, this place gets my thumbs up, and then that helps you streamline your growth and success. And now you having some experience with working with chiropractors for 4 or 5 years, you said, do you have anything that you can share that you would say would be a what you observe about chiropractors and what you wish they would do?
Yeah, it's a great point. My biggest thing is trust technology that's out there. We've built this for a reason. We are a chiropractic specific company. Matt Prados, our CEO and founder, both of his parents were chiropractors. I think he's got over 80 in his extended family. So this is not just a cute system that we built and said, hey, here's a niche market that we're going to do, right? We built this out for chiropractors to get, you know, patients on better access to healthcare and ultimately get more of the word out to chiropractic. So, my biggest thing is just hop on the phone with us. Let us show you what we're doing. There's a lot of lookalikes out there. There's a lot of people that say, hey, this works, that works, that works. Just trust your colleagues that have left us great reviews. Trust their referrals, just like you want patients to trust their friends' referrals. But ultimately, give us a shot to show you what we can do for you. And again, trust the technology. You might have tried something like this in the past, but don't let that one thing burn you twice. If it burned you once, I get that. But people are people. Some people are, not going to live up to their expectation. We obviously feel we live up to our expectations. That's why we give you a satisfaction guarantee. But don't let a bridge burn you twice. You got burned by it. Okay, let's move on, right? It's like, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it's, if I went out and tried to ask a girl out on a date and she said no, am I always going to stop asking now? I just leave it at that? No, technology evolves, things evolve. So when you give a company the option and the opportunity to show you what they got, you might be surprised. This might be that missing piece in your clinic. It might not be having to hire another staff member. It might not having to go through the dreaded change of switching an EHR to boost our business. That might not need to happen. In some cases it might, but we could be that missing piece to your clinic that, helps you retain more patients, attract more patients, convert more patients, help with our staff. Like there's so many other unwritten things that we help with that ultimately you're not going to know unless you dive in the water.
I have a question that I came up with while I was listening to you. You've got to have seen a lot of interesting things over the last couple of years. Do you have a fun success story, something that like changed for a person that was like mind blowing? There's got to be a couple, I'm thinking.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, if I can pinpoint, obviously, 2 years ago, the world shut down for a reason, and we'll just leave that at that before we go on a different tangent. Using automation to your benefit, whether staff didn't want to come back or whatnot. There's so many one man, one woman bands that use ReviewWave that don't need to hire another staff member when this runs it for them. Or the doctor that's been in practice for 30 years and didn't have, I'll let the cat out of the bag. She was a ReviewWave client, but didn't know all the features that we had available. We turned on a reactivation campaign during COVID, and we sent it out, and in 20 minutes, she had 16 or 19 reactivations come back of people to schedule their appointment. Wow. That's like 19 new patients from sending one text message. Imagine that impact it would have in your clinic. Or, those, again, that's where I'm saying there's so many other things that we help with rather than just the umbrella thought of it's a review company, right? The more we make it easier for the doctors to do what they need to do and the staff members, the more people they can help increase their collections and ultimately help more people. So I would say that was one of the fun things that happened recently. And then most recently, even since being here in the Texas office, Dr. Brent Thierry out in Minnesota signed up with us. I followed up with him a month later, and he said, dude, everything, he has our after hours AI attendant, which we'll get into on a demo, but basically a patient called in after hours. We sent them a text telling them where to go book because we knew that they were a new patient, and they scheduled their appointment. I think he mentioned that he already had 4 or 5 people schedule from that piece alone, and the whole year was already paid for, and he's only been with us for a month. So, it's not just an outbound cost. Yeah, we can all look at that as business owners and, oh, here's $400 there, here's $500 there, but what is it giving you in return? I'll give you 10 grand if you give me 20 back every single day. Let's bump it up and keep, the dollars and cents coming in, right? So it's so much more than just a system. It's truly a return on your investment to help your clinic. So those 2 success stories really stick out to me because that's quick success. And it's also existing clients that have been with us that just didn't know what else was out there that we can help with. So rather than looking externally, give us a call if you're a client. We'd be more than happy to go through and show you exactly what we have. Maybe you don't know you can utilize in your clinic. So those would be 2 of my successes.
I got to tell you, you reminded me of something, which was that during the, Colorado is one of the states that had to completely shut down. There's only 2 of them. Chiropractic offices were told to completely close. And Review Wave saved so many of our doctors because the ones that had it already set up were like, oh, we're golden. We have this in here and we can message people. Others were scrambling to get that added in because they were late adopters. So, you've got to keep up with the times. Well, I really appreciate you sharing with us, and really appreciate, I know that hundreds of thousands of people have found their way to chiropractic offices because of the work that you and your team there has done. And Matt Prados is just an incredible soul in terms of how much energy he puts in towards chiropractic and how his feeling, his views of helping people find their way to it and have a good experience. So I really appreciate that. And I'm glad. I want to encourage people that when you're at Mile High in June, is make sure you go visit their booth and find out more, and certainly check them out online. We'll have a link for booking a demo in this notes to go along with that. Austin, is there any last words you'd like to share with our audience?
That's it. We're looking forward to speaking with you here soon. And again, helping your clinic, helping your staff, helping you, outside of clinic. Because again, a lot of things that we can do can help you, in personal life as well. So we're looking forward to the opportunity to speaking with you, and we can't wait for that time to come.
Well, we look forward to seeing you there, and we're looking forward to seeing your guys' increased impact and growth. So everybody, remember, hit subscribe, never miss any Mile High Tech. You always want to be dialed in. And of course, reserve your seats for yourself and your team to be on higher ground in June at Mile High, riseuptomilehigh.com. Thank you so much, Austin, and the Review Wave team for all that you do for chiropractic, and keep changing spines, lives, and minds with chiropractic.